make a great water bearer. Thank you. It's nice that you went behind the ears, because if there has been tearing from the eyes, that'll collect behind the ears a little bit. So a little later we'll work on her hair and, you know, lay it out so it's nice looking. Great. Good. So this would be the point where if we wanted to keep her eyes closed and her mouth closed, there are several ways of doing it. You can sometimes just, may I place my hands on your eyes? You can sometimes just close the eyes and keep your fingers there for a few minutes, and that's enough to keep the eyes closed. Or you can close the eyes and then place an eye pillow on top. But if you don't have an eye pillow, you can use a bag of rice or beans, just something that has a little bit of weight to it, to keep the eyes closed. And then the mouth, you can hold the jaw just to keep the mouth closed and hold it for, I found that 10 minutes usually is plenty of time. Or you can have a cloth, either a face cloth or a towel that you put underneath, and then for this I would probably need to put the head on a pillow to keep it shut. And then the time-honored way is to use a tie. And we'll just to show this, just under the chin, and tie it to the top of the head. Yeah. Now, it doesn't have to stay like this for a long time. It's really just until rigor mortis has set in, and it'll stay by itself after that. So you don't have to leave the tie on the whole time. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, since you're the nurse, you have more knowledge about this, but rigor mortis comes and goes. So the best possible solution is to have the body with the eyes closed and the mouth closed and straightened as soon as possible after death, because rigor mortis is going to set in, and then it'll be hard to move the body. But it tends to come and go. So first it's the body's pretty stiff, and then it loosens and relaxes, and then it becomes stiff again, and then loosening and relaxing. So that's the process. And on the arms and legs, if they are stiff and you want to move them, you can massage the area, and that will make them easier to move. Okay.
Is there any benefit to maybe either cold or hot temperature in accomplishing the positioning?
That's a great question, and to my knowledge, I think we tend to keep things more on the cool side, just because that slows the decomposition. But in terms of working with the body, that's a great question. And do you know the answer to that, Susan?
No, but I know that it does get to a point that really nothing's going to loosen the body enough to calm it down. And then there are also people who are the elderly. Sometimes they're so in such positions that you can't really do a lot with them anyway. So I guess the goal is to make them look as comfortable as wherever they're going to be lying as possible.
Okay, so now we're ready for the arms and tops of the shoulders. Now, since she has clothes on, we're not going to use water on her shoulders, etc. But we'll go ahead and wash the lower part of the arms and then the hands. So if you'll just take them out from underneath the cover and great.
Are you cold? I mean, after we put this damp cloth on you, would you like me to dry you off
I'm
also?
fine.
Okay.
You can also just take a bath towel and put it under the whole length of the arm, and that way you wouldn't be so
nervous about splashing a little bit
Mhm.
of water and so on, so make it a little bit convenient for the person doing it.
Want to do the other side now, Ashley?
If this person had been attended by hospice and perhaps the hospice nurse had visited in the morning and the person died in the afternoon, and a bath had been given in the morning by an aide or something, then you wouldn't have to go through a thorough washing.
It might be
It's more.
more than for the process of
Yeah,
the family
yeah.
than the actual necessity.
Yeah. It's more the ritual
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it.
And that maybe the scents and the oils and everything.
Mhm.
maybe.
Mm-hmm. But in some cases, you wouldn't need to really wash thoroughly because they
Mhm.
might have
Right.
been sweaty and so on in the process of dying, and you want to
Mhm.
remove that.
So then to do the top part, we'll want to do the chest, and then we're going to roll on the side and do the back. So, you know, here it really comes to, it's really up to the family about the modesty, etc. So we'll just, if you want to just roll that back to the waist, and then let me get another little towel. So it may be that our family is sort of is more modest, and so we would want to cover Aunt Rose with a towel so that she would, I guess, just have more modesty. And it's really, you know,
Mhm.
Aunt Rose doesn't care; she's dead. So, but it's really just for the comfort of the family. So if the washers will just sort of, you won't be actually doing the washing, but just sort of do this as the strokes would. Yeah, great. And Susan, do you have ways that you like to keep the modesty of the patient when
No,
you're
it's,
doing?
it's pretty, unique to each case, I guess, and also, yeah, just whatever you can, and whoever's in the room. If it's all daughters, that plays makes a difference, but,
Poor you.
So now we're going to turn
That's where
to,
you are.
we're going to turn to do the back. So we'll need two people over here, one people with hands sort of on the hips, there you go, and then the other with the hands on the shoulder.
If we just bend this knee up, I think that helps a lot with the turning.
Excellent, excellent. And then the two people, mhm.
Right, you cover.
Yeah.
Like you had mentioned before, Donna, with the temperature of the water, and if you pinch the person, it's not a big deal since they're dead, but, and with that same thought in mind, it's really, this is the key to keeping the odors down, that people worry about having a body, really a thorough cleaning, especially in the private area, is really important to, make sure there's no feces or urine left on the body. So you don't want to be too gentle, but I know with this situation you do, but, in general, you don't worry about how much scrubbing you're doing, and if they're going to be worried feeling that. 'Cause
And in the dying process, isn't there often a release of
usually it is,
yeah.
yeah. So you really
of
want to make sure that's
feces or urine?
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, clean that up.
So we might change the cloths even at this point.
Sure,
that are
yeah.
under the-
Before,
those-
like you-
those-
Or it could be done right at the beginning,
Mhm.
before there's any
Yeah.
washing, yeah.
Yeah, actually, place her back on her back, and we'll show you what one person recommends. And usually if a person has been ill for some time, it's very normal that the last few days they're not going to want to eat or have food.
Mm.
So the fluids of the body aren't,
Minimized.
yes,
Mhm.
thank you, they're minimized. So one person suggests that you just press on the belly to